Sterring, pictures and buttons, is Sterring, they're like Sterring.
Hey, I'm Kunta.
And I'm Peta.
Welcome to Black Sterring Radio, a podcast where we dissect TV shows, films, music, and culture
To ask how black women are represented and seen on screen.
Welcome back.
There's so many cameras, I don't even know which one to look at.
Yes, I know.
You know at the end of Hot Ones where he's like, we have this camera, and this camera. Tell us what you're promoting. Now I'm like, where do I look?
Oh, yes. Hey. Welcome back, guys.
Welcome back. Hi.
We're back here once again.
We are.
Round 2.
This is Kunta.
This is Peta.
Hi.
With the lovely hair.
Thank you.
It is herring. I love this color.
Thank
This is
you.
the one you
I
had
really
on your
like
birthday.
ginger. It is
it
the same
red
thing,
or
different
ginger?
font. Because it's actually not the same.
Well,
It's another, but
yeah,
the color
the
palette
colour.
is. Yeah,
The
I'm
colour
really
palette.
feeling the gingery orange.
the Mariah Carey.
I mean, I will always love a crush. I mean, you know that I love Mariah Carey,
It
so
goes
I will.
perfectly.
Thank you.
We
Yeah,
appreciate the hair.
I love
You know,
it.
yeah,
I
yeah.
love hair is so much fun. Honestly,
I know it definitely is. It definitely
Yeah.
is a lot of fun, you know,
I feel
and
like
a lot of
I'll-
work for us.
No,
I
it's
just
so
have
much
to
work.
throw that out there,
no,
guys.
it is, and I will.
I love
be
black
the
hair,
shapeshifter.
but
I don't know
Sibit.
how many hairstyles people are gonna see in these next few.
Oh no, absolutely. You
weeks.
kind of have to understand that with black women. You just never know what you're going to see or get.
Yeah.
I might be here with like you know, Kanye Bao's complexion, because Kanye Bao was also doing.
No. Oh, she's so
Kanye Bao came back
right.
around
Do you know how?
and is now an alien.
Do you know how crazy it was to me?
But I love
to
her. I
watch,
adore her.
Okay, so I was watching Happiness Is, right?
Mm.
And then, which is like the third part of Happiness is a 4-letter word.
Oh yeah, when she was with the girls there.
Yeah, so I watched the first one again and she was like one of the 3 friends in that. And then I saw in an interview and I was like, so
what
skin
took
tone
why?
from then to now, what happened?
It is interesting with Kanye because she's documented, she's been vocal about it. I just love her vibe. She's like such.
I really
she's
enjoy
a
her.
Rihanna. If Rihanna was like
South
brave,
African.
brave.
I think Rihanna's
Kanye is
ooh,
like.
this is a take.
No, definitely, because I feel
Okay.
like Rihanna's definitely like brave in the sense that she does her own thing, right?
Yes.
Like your Doja Cats, you know, they do their
Yes.
own thing, you know. And Kanye Bao is definitely in that line. And she's been doing her own thing. She's
Yeah.
been
She
her
really has.
own agent.
Yeah, I really
eh?
enjoy her.
And I really enjoy her. Like
Yeah.
I definitely but I'm worried about your skin, girl. It looks amazing. It looks like glass. It's the whole Korean skincare
Yes,
vibe.
but I'm also just
Wow.
like the
The whole look has changed. She's
tone
not the same.
of it is obviously lighter,
It's
which is quite
it's
like
white.
jarring for me.
It's
yeah,
white.
It's just like
It's even pale. Like people were
Mm.
like, you went from salmon to pale.
not salmon.
No, but really, hey, I don't know how do you get to Kanye though?
I don't know. We're talking about hair. I mean,
Hair
we'll
and black
always get
women.
everywhere.
Yes.
You know, black
we
people.
do
We
that.
love a tangent.
We do a
love
tangent, and
We
we're
do.
catching up. We just got here, you know. But Jai, welcome back to
Yeah.
our humble abode here. You know, to our little,
I
you
knew
know,
home.
our little new home.
Yeah. Yeah.
How are you though? How's your week been? How's life been, guys? I'm
I
tired.
have 3 words: year-end fatigue.
Oh, fatigue. Is the word.
I'm finished. I feel, and you know what? I'm actually so mad because my camera was like, this time, 1 year ago, you were in Bali. I was like,
Not the phone.
maybe that's why I'm tired.
triggering us
Because
with
this time of
memories.
the year is usually when I go on holiday and just, because it's also nice to not be in Joburg and just like switch off and
Absolutely.
like not be anywhere near a computer
Absolutely.
or a Teams, the Teams jingle that gives everyone anxiety now.
How does it go?
Toot, toot, toot. Toot, toot, toot.
I love
There's like a little. That's what it sounds like.
It is. It's
That's
like
what
a
it's
hiccup. tough. It's like, oh my gosh, here to ruin your day. No, not really, not all the time.
Yeah.
But definitely, no, tired of Teams. Just generally like
I'm ready
wanting to wind
valet laptop for the rest of the
down.
year. But how are you?
Yeah, definitely at the same place, but valing the laptop is it's down ahead in the horizon. I think it's going to be a busy time. So I'm just hoping for any sort of rest. But I mean, I've been good. It's been an interesting year, guys. It's November. It's November. It's absolutely November. And it was Halloween now, you know.
It was Halloween.
It's the American
it was Halloween.
show
One
right
of
now
my
that's
favorite
happening.
tweets, somebody was like, why are Black South Africans participating in Halloween? And then someone quoted and they were like, because it's the best album ever, because TKZ. It's like,
listen, I love that. I love that.
But I went to a Halloween party. Halloween is fun.
Halloween is fun. I never used to be a huge participator, but I feel like we really have come into it. Like, I've seen crazy things, and you know, I was not necessarily a fan of Halloween because I didn't think it was. I thought it was like gimmicky, man. It was just like a little childish. But people made it scary to like this time around. I saw someone's car draped in like bloody painting.
Crazy.
Please guess what was written on the actual car. And this is actual reality. Help.
Okay, no, but you can't do that.
No. I was like, winner.
Because that's not like...
Because I'm terrified now.
That's not like funny, haha.
But it is, you know, so because that's the line.
Like crime.
Right?
Our country, I'm always like, crime.
But that's the thing as well that you see now with costumes is that they're following that like theme of like psychological thrillers and like stories. Yes, memes is the thing, and news stories as well. I saw Maria McCloy and Anoki did what was her name? Makudumana. And Nandi Makudumana and that whole hectic scandal, which is like a I guess a thriller of some sort that's happening in the news. So it's interesting that kind of genre bending. Like, let's be grown up about Halloween. Like, shit is scary.
My outfit was not scary at all.
What did you?
I dressed as Aaliyah in Try Again, which was very fun for me because is it cliche that I dressed up as an R&B artist? Perhaps. But I enjoyed it.
Listen, Aaliyah will always...
Icon.
Will always have it. She always deserves for us to dress up as her, to talk about her, to miss her terribly.
And it's always one of those things, like, you'll always wonder when someone... Because I always think the same thing about Lebu Matosa and, like, TK and people like that, where it's like they passed and Amy Winehouses, and they were all in their like late 20s, which is unimaginable. Like,
and it's like the thing, like with rock stars and musicians, the dying early vibe, hey?
The 27 club of it all as well. Yeah, I mean, Aaliyah was younger, but like,
and we
it's pretty hectic.
A little bit about that.
Yeah, but we won't get into conspiracy
because wow.
Anyway,
content you signed up for is a feature. I don't know if we mentioned if we went through this feature. Yeah, we did. We did. It's a feature where we go on about what we're into, whether we're listening, watching, doing. What's your content?
Me. Ooh. You know what? I'm having a brain fart, but I want to say Papa's House.
Okay.
Has been interesting. It is a new sitcom with Damon Wayans and Damon Wayans Jr.
Oh, I saw them in the media looking really good.
They both look really good. Damon Wayans Sr. Everyone is like, the salt and peppers. It's kind of working for him. Yes. Yeah, so I watched the first episode. And it has Essence Atkins as well. And I was like, this is kind of interesting because they still have the canned laughter, which I haven't heard in like ages.
Yeah, the tape.
That. Yeah. But then also at the end they did like all the bloopers, which felt very My Wife and Kids.
I love bloopers,
which I hadn't seen in ages.
I adore bloopers.
Yeah, so it was like, yeah, it's cool. So basically they are father and son in the show and they live next door to one another. And Damon Wayans Jr. is like an aspiring director but stuck in a job at his wife's father's company or whatever. And then Damon Wayans is like a radio host
Definitely
for like an old hip hop show, and then he has to collaborate with Essence Atkins, who has like this new podcast as a psychologist, and his show has kind of gone to the dumps, so they have to like do a show together, which he obviously hates. Yeah, but I was like, this is so interesting, because like the Wayans as a family are obviously like so iconic, so funny. Yeah, so I kind of liked it. I'm interested to see what they do next, because it's episode by episode, the same way Abbott is on network TV. So it's kind of like,
here we are again.
We're back to see what's gonna happen. Like, it's not on a streaming, it's like a week by. I think they literally like 3 episodes out or something.
Where is it? Because I need to watch this.
I definitely, it's not on a streaming. I got it on, let's just say I got it on the internet.
We got it where we get it. We've been children of the internet for a while now, and you're not Netflix gonna come here and tell us to pay for everything.
Because I don't even Netflix, but yes, yeah. So that's my Papa's house.
Papa's house.
Yes. So
nice.
I was like, oh, interesting. Nice. I'm intrigued to see where it goes.
Okay, because that's a nice setting up of a whole lot of mess can happen there.
Yes.
So is the dad married to the mom?
So it's interesting because the dad is divorced now. So now he's a batch, like a bit of a bitter divorcee.
I need to watch this now.
But yeah, so like it's really interesting even to see them playing father and son on screen, because they are father and son in real life. Is interesting, and it's also like you have the same face, because they really do.
Because they really do, bro. It's like weird. The same, different, same, different.
Yeah,
same.
like it.
Yeah, it's the same thing. It's the same thing. Oh, and I just love the fact that the Wayans are back, guys.
Yeah, so it's nice.
It must be hilarious as well. I hope.
Yeah,
because
I found it funny.
Yeah. Dope. I'm definitely gonna secretly download that
off the internet.
Off the internet. My content is it's Bongiwe Lusizi. Who is Bongiwe Lusizi? She's a musician, but she's also she plants ukamba, which is like how do I explain? It's like a traditional vase, guys, you know. So that's actually, I didn't realize that was actually a seed and a plant that you could grow. So she grows this thing and she makes instruments, you know, with it. She makes makweyana, the one that you stick on your heart space.
Oh, I know that. Okay, and you played from the. Okay, that's cool.
Oh my gosh, amazing musician, just beautiful. Cool. Like, and she makes shakers, she makes traditional instruments. I was like, yeah, no, I met her at the Center for the Less Good Idea, my favorite place on planet Earth.
What is that for the people?
Oh, it is in Maboneng. It is an arts space started by William Kentridge, who is a legend artist. My goodness. So the space really it's a performance, but like a multidisciplinary performance space where they put on really, you know, mind-bending theater, you know, like theater you'd probably, if Black Mirror was theater, you know, it's really nice. It's really nice. Okay. Please check out the center. Please, absolutely.
On my to-do list.
Yeah, you know, and cool. the tickets are not bad. You know, sometimes they have free shows, so it's definitely.
I'm also like, support the art.
Absolutely, guys. Absolutely, and it's right there in town. So yeah, that's my content.
Very cool.
Absolutely.
Very cool. And and even you're like, my mind is going bing, 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 because you're talking about African instruments.
Yes.
There was a wild conversation. Well, not a wild conversation, but it was very interesting. So someone made a TikTok about how Coldplay, the sound, the guitar riffs are influenced by some Sangura music in Zimbabwe.
Oh, wow.
Because Chris Martin grew up in Zimbabwe. And I was like,
oh, I love
and then she was like playing different Zimbabwean artists, and I was like, oh my God.
Coldplay.
Yes.
Because Coldplay is very, it's got that distinct, that
like like the way that they, I was like, can't hear it now. Yeah, love them. So I was listening to them this morning because I was like, I can hear it.
Absolutely. Oh my gosh, and Coldplay. That's amazing. I love that. Please
love
Coldplay. Shout out. Like, what is it?
I love Sangura music. So it's like traditional Zimbabwean. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, but like you can hear like in the almost like it's not too dissimilar to how Maskandi guitar sounds.
Yes. Ooh,
yeah, so
guys,
like the rhythm
us,
of it.
us.
I was like,
it's us. We're the rock stars. We're the instrumentalists.
I like that a lot.
We're the, you know, and I don't want to mention, because we will make a show about him, Quincy.
That has to be a show.
Because, yeah, guys, rest in beautiful, rest in beauty, bruh.
Yeah. Can you? I was reading one of his GQ interviews, because I think he did an interview with GQ and Vulture around the same time, like a few years back. Oh, yeah. And he was just, the stories, he had so many stories about like everyone. Because he was, I mean, when you live that long, it's like, he had a little story about Frank Sinatra and like Ray Charles acting more blind when women are around so that they can feel sorry for him, and like, just, you know, like he's cheated death thrice also. Like, wow. Yeah, like had an aneurysm in his 20s and was in a car accident so he died at 91.
Well done, sir.
You've seen
everything. I did not actually, because he was actually quite old now. Hey, and I'm surprised he was actually even taking interviews, because you know.
But I am glad that his daughters, Urashida and Khadija, did the documentary like a few years back.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah,
because
so
you just cannot let Quincy go without a documentary.
Yeah, and he had so many, because somebody was also saying like people of that age or of that era, like there's so few of them left. Dude. But also the stories, just the history that they have in them as people is something that we need to get better at archiving. And there's so many South African older creatives and musicians you can say the same thing about that.
No, this is true. Hey,
there's so many stories and so much knowledge that we have.
Yeah, especially like in music, because musicians don't write. They just work. Yeah. They just play. Or you hear it in the music. Recording, you know, archiving, music journalism. This is why music journalism is important, guys. Yeah, you know, because so much. I can just imagine what comes out of like Quincy. Yeah, it was at 91. Like at 91. And I saw like a video on Instagram of him, I think at the Academies giving a speech, and I was like, you know, these people, when they do their speeches, it's just like, he's thanking his friends, his family. It's like you can never really match the great. I mean, yes, it's the simple things. He's a human being, but I'm just like, yo,
things you've done,
and that you've done.
It's just, and because for me, he felt like the epitome of a creative, like the fact that he was in, but it feels like a lesson in craft, in how well studied he was in the craft of music and knowing how to play instruments and composing and scoring, and like
today don't really know how to play instruments. In my understanding.
Yeah, which is also like an access thing, but like
definitely 100%.
Just like craft and edit. Like I saw even Questlove did a like 10 lessons that Quincy Jones taught me, like from all the many times I met him, and artists, a lot of and one of the things was like edit. Interesting. And the one quote that kept coming up like in the interviews is where he said, if you have a good song and not a great singer, you can make a hit, but if you have a bad song, the 3 best singers will not make it a hit.
Yeah,
was like, it should always be about the song.
It should always be about the music.
Yeah, it must always be
like a combination. Yeah, it's a composition.
Yeah, he was like, if the song is shit, you can have literally the best person, and it's still not going to work. Yeah, which you see, because for me, I'm like, so many people are case in point, because even like Ariana that we were talking about now, I mean, not necessarily the best singer, but she knows how to choose a good song.
Yeah, she does. And there have been not terrible, but bad songs from Beyonce. Yeah. There have been bad songs
from Rihanna, Whitney, from Mariah, from everybody. Do you know what I mean? Like,
from everybody. Yeah. So that's definitely true. Production is like, and then there have been good songs from not so great singers today. Like just singing people. You know, like singing, and the production level, you know, like takes it to elevates it. Like, absolutely. This is true here. This is true about production.
Anyway, before we get
sidetracked.
So today we're gonna be talking about the bear.
The Bear, hey?
Which
Cult
is
following.
a crazy ass show. I mean, it's positioned as a comedy, but it's not as haha. It's like comedy drama, but also psychological, whatever.
I think because the writer, Christopher Storer, is a comedian.
Yeah, but I'm like, you did not make The Bear funny, haha, because if there's ever an anxiety... If there's a show that gives you... The Bear probably gives me so much anxiety, but like, the premise of it is that it follows this family.
Yes.
We follow Kami, who's played by Jeremy Allen White. Yeah. And he has to come home because his brother Mikey has died. And he now has to take over the family business. Yeah. The beef. It is basically like a sandwich shop in Chicago, and he is this like Michelin award-winning refined chef that has to try and like turn it around, and you meet all the people at the restaurant and all these different characters who are kind of like
a part of it and
work there, and it's their whole life. So it's a show with a lot of conflict.
Lots happens in The Bear, bruh. Lots happens in The Bear, and I think it's that like, it's almost like opening the door to like those restaurants in like the Italian restaurants that have been around for years and years, that have withstood COVID, whatever. It's like an institution. Family business, you know. Yeah. And it's like, you're cooking, hey? Chef cooking.
Can I tell you? Oh my God. Ooh. I got so many flashbacks because I did hospitality studies in school.
Yes, because that's what it is. It's like hospitality,
like working
deep.
in a service kitchen, and the level of like chaos and drama and like
the order, though,
the technicalities of like that whole French style.
Yes,
where
the French.
It's yes chef, no chef, and we're
running a show here.
The forks must be clean, and the cutlery must be like a centimeter apart, and everything must be. I mean, like the serviette must be a certain distance from the table, and like forks, everything must be folded perfectly, and like the plating and the service and order, and just like the like. Even the show in and of itself, I found very interesting that they balance order and chaos.
This is what it is, actually.
Alongside one another. Yeah. From like the edit to the music to it's always like
to the story.
Super chaotic and super orderly on the other side to like the dirty t-shirts, like the beefed t-shirts versus when Sid came in and she was wearing like chef whites or like an apron. Yeah, like the contrasting was really interesting for me, and also that it's a family drama kind of, but also workplace drama.
Yes,
at the same time.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And it's also just interesting to see the elevation of just your normal restaurant, where like your just diner or just like a restaurant, an easy restaurant, to now like a 5-star, like a star rating restaurant, like the migration. And it's like these two worlds that Kami is kind of trying to bridge, because he's the guy who left home and went to go do the chef thing, and as if that was easy, because then Community. Community.
It was so weird seeing Joel McHale like that.
Joel McHale is my favorite.
I was like, you're kind of, but for me, that was the epitome of having a toxic boss. Yeah, and what that does to your brain,
and how
it can actually drive you nuts. Because he's in his head. Like, still, even when he dreams about him, and he has all these like flashbacks of like being spoken down to and being shat on for like doing things wrong, and it's just like, bad work environment can actually fuck you up in the head.
Don't we know?
Don't we know? Ooh. We know.
And it's interesting how they shoot it, because it's so much about the food. And the quality and the culture of chefing and restaurants, but it's this family, but it's also like the mental, the anxiety, the intrusive, because Kami is struggling with like throughout. Even towards the end, like the last episode, he then approaches when in the funeral episode,
and he's like, you.
And he's like, fuck you to this to this guy who taught him so much, but also completely tortured him. And then you know, and then his response is like, well, you know, I made you into an excellent chef. And now, is that wrong or right? Is that true or not?
You see, and I found
Maybe
myself,
it's wrong, but is it wrong?
You see, I found myself asking that a lot throughout the show.
Yes,
where the line is, in a number of different ways, because fine, you made him good, pressure, but at what cost?
At what cost?
Do you know what I mean? You know? And even the Christmas episode in season 2,
the noise,
where you see
guys,
why
the
they are, how they are,
they are,
from Kami to Mikey to even Nat to Sugar
to the mom,
to Donna, Jamie Lee Curtis as Mama Donna. I have
never. I'm
so
shocked,
unhinged,
and terrified.
So like just mentally unstable and like not okay.
Yeah, just
like she was not okay.
And it's interesting that her relationship with because we then get to see her as this matriarch in the kitchen.
Yes.
And her relationship with these boys, you know, her boys. Yeah. You know, there's something about mothers and their boys.
And then how she treats Nat on the other.
How she treats Nat and the disconnect there, and how also Nat is fucked because of her.
Yeah.
Like her mental
she's
health
just,
is also, she's also just like, her and Kami are actually quite similar in the sense of their resentment, their rage, it's all like locked up in here, but also that like the I don't know if it's not cowardice, but their meekness, that kind of self-esteem low vibe.
It's like they let
when he's been abused.
And it's funny because you could also argue that Mikey also had it, but because he could play it off as like charm or whatever,
he got that role.
Then he also got addicted to pain pills and committed suicide. You know what I mean? So it's like
looms.
The whole family had anxiety and like that was carried on in a generation, and it just, the disconnect between them, even in the family and even as siblings. They really pressed on the dysfunction of it, because even when Nat is pregnant, you can see how uncomfortable she is that her mom is the one that's the only person available when she's in labor, and it's like
she hadn't even really told her,
because the husband Pete told her, and she was like, oh, she's pregnant, congratulations. And even the mom felt awkward because
that's how she found out. Because she then
it was on the opening night,
why
and
didn't you tell me? Because you're bad shit.
I don't know what I'm gonna get if I tell you. You're kind of crazy.
And I'm pregnant.
But also there is, like, you touched on something, because there's something the mom said when they were opening the bay for like friends and family, and the mom came and Pete saw, and she didn't come in, and she said something about how like she doesn't deserve to see. There's like she doesn't deserve to see them like this because she's messed up so much, and it feels like even Kami had that thing with Claire.
Survivors.
That like this weird self-sabotagey, because when Kami got stuck in the fridge on opening night, and he went on that spiral about Claire, and he was Claire, no, I've been distracted and I don't deserve to be in love because this is what happens. You don't call the fridge guy. And
you're so right
like
about the self-sabotage.
It just kind of like winds and kind of like
that's an interesting
bleeds into
theme
everything.
To look at, hey? Like,
and
Kami is very much
really messed up and feels like he's not deserving of a normal life, and to be like fall in love with someone. Because when you listen to the voicemail after he said all that stuff, and she was like, oh, I love you, I'm so proud of you, he was like gutted. Because he didn't even deserve that relationship. And I feel like he didn't deserve that relationship.
He felt like he felt like because of how they then ended, like, you know, because he didn't realize that she was on the other side of the big fat fridge door, and he was going on about like, I don't even know, like, if we're gonna last. Like, and
he was like, oh, is it worth it? It's nice, but like now I'm stuck in the fridge.
You know.
And I felt so bad for her. That was horrible. Oh, that was horrible.
That's true.
That was not great.
It was. It was, right? It was. I was actually about to say, was that as bad? But it as bad as to break up. Yeah.
I mean, like, to call someone in the morning and leave a voicemail and like say I love you for the first time. And then the same evening they're saying all of that.
and you're coming to support them in their thing.
It's not great.
But he was coming from a wounded place, and I mean, you cannot expect Mujolo now, girlfriend, to be your, you know.
Fair, but again, where's the line? Because I got why she was like,
no, absolutely.
Like, I can't.
Even just like how she initiated a lot of it, like, and just their relationship, just Kami not really being, I mean, there's some sort of chemistry with Sid as well.
There is chemistry with Sid, and that's always the great debate of like, should they be together?
Like,
should they not?
I was like, Claire Bear, so cute, wonderful girl, but like my girl here has been here, and she's been taking Kami's you know, his anxiety episodes here.
Their
but like,
relationship is so interesting, right? Because they definitely like work husband and wife. They are, right? Like in that way. But I think it's interesting how they show his anxiety versus her anxiety. Yeah. And you see it right from the beginning where she drops that huge vat of like thingy from the and
where she won't ask for help.
She
black
sucks.
Women, they don't do that.
So ironic. An independent black woman is terrible at asking for help. Wow. Do you know what I mean?
But like, I literally was like, you have to ask for help.
And she just doesn't. And you can see her also spiraling. I mean, like, the episode where they went online and there were too many orders and everyone was freaking out and the tickets machine. And there were new orders and new orders and that new I was just like, I can't deal with this. Like, it just like also because all the sounds, like the sound edit, I was like, no, this is giving me anxiety. Yeah, like you could just hear like the clicking and the shouting and cousin, no, corner, cut, and I'm like.
And it's interesting you mentioned sound. They talk over one another all the time, and I think the dialogue was also a lot of improvisation. I think the camera was just put there sometimes, and it was just like, let's flow, because there's just that dysfunction, that like, you know, this feels like I'm dropped into the middle of like an argument.
Yeah.
Wow.
No, especially like, how Kami and Richie will go at each other.
Richie is... Firstly, I cannot stand. But like, I love him.
Oh,
but
he grew on me.
You cannot stand him in the beginning.
Oh no, 100%. He's annoying.
If you've just started
really
watching
annoying.
it,
he's really,
and you are
annoying. Like, but he has the best character development. Debatably, I think he does.
He has the finest.
That Fork episode where he goes to train in season 2,
and it's about like 5 days, and it changes him.
It does change him.
It changes him completely. You know.
Because he's like, it doesn't have to be just this. Like, I can level up.
Self-sabotage as well with him, because he's just like this addition to the family. What is he?
Because it's like, cousin.
Who is he? Cousin.
But it's also like
not really.
Not really.
But
but it's like we grew up together.
Yeah. You're homie.
You're like family.
Yes.
Like your family.
Your family. But that'll always kind of sit on it, because the uncle who they have to get the money from. Yeah. I love him as well. Just the actor. I love
because
that guy.
He'll always be like, "Where's my money?
Yeah,
this
like,
is cute and everything, but you're gonna give me my money." You guys
he'll
with
point
your little
out the fact that, well, and Sid as well. Like, how do you fit into the story? Like. And he's always been there. He's been there from the beginning. He's been there. Like,
they grew up together.
There's even that episode with what's her name? The woman, the chef, Tina.
Oh, I love Tina's episode.
Tina's episode is perfect.
Yeah, that was really great.
Then you see the Richie in the beginning as well, and how he's a part of it, but he's just got heart. He's just your cousin or brother who just is overly, but he's just such a sweetheart, dude. Like, if you actually, he's not terrible. He's just annoying.
Even him, like being a dad and the thing with his wife and like now the wife is the ex-wife is now getting married and it's just like
and the vulnerability with him is such an interesting really thing, because like he's not in the beginning a vulnerable character.
No, not at all.
But he becomes the most vulnerable. He's able to voice more than Kami and Sid.
Yes,
you know, he's able to
that's true. Actually,
to ask about how he should move. Most of the time he's able to ask for help. Yeah. You know, with the relationship with the baby, with this family situation.
And for me, what I really like is that the show in a lot of ways feels like it's about change and how
transformation.
open you are to change, because there's all this friction in the first season about like, okay, we're changing it from a sandwich shop.
This is true. The
is it going to be something else? And like even Tina resists a lot in the beginning. She even pretended not to speak English. I said, Tina, ma'am,
she burnt it bottom bit. That's the worst thing you can do.
Everyone, but then it's also kind of like, it's nice because they show that change can happen if you let it over and over again. Because
over and over again.
Yeah, because I mean, Marcus was probably the only person who was like, oh my gosh, maybe I should learn how to bake all these fancy cakes. And I mean, that's crazy because I'm always like, oh my gosh, Odd Future, you're an owl boy, and now you're like the serious actor.
Oh, is he?
He was in Odd Future with like Tyler and them. Yeah. Never seen like a rapper. That's like
no ways. I need to look him up then.
An award-winning whatever.
That's amazing. Never seen him before. I cannot believe he was in Odd Future.
But you know they always come as a Gugu Ranch.
Yeah, they do. So as a squad deep.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah.
Wow.
So it's like,
because his story is also, it just remains
that Copenhagen episode.
Yeah, the Copenhagen, right? And the mom, his devotion to his mom dying.
Yeah, even his relationship with Sid is interesting,
right? Because he does try to get into the DMs, and it gets awkward. Yeah,
so
right. And I love
and it's a show that sits in the discomfort
in the real life. That's
so
why I'm
uncomfortable.
Like, literally, we were dropped into things, right?
Yeah,
you were dropped into things because you cannot manufacture this awkwardness.
Yeah,
cannot.
It's like,
you know. And they leave it. They let it go. They let it run. They let it linger throughout the season.
Because you see everyone's crash out as well. Because like, even when they have the awkward moment and it's service, and he's like, "Are you not talking to me because of what happened or whatever?" So like, you still even see everyone kind of just like,
and how like people will take stuff out on one another. Like it's a weird. It's like it's interesting, the workplace piece of it, because it's like there's this corporate, well, there's not corporate, but there's corporatization of work where we don't have feelings, but it's actually quite an emotional place.
It's very intense.
Work is actually very emotional, guys. Let's just be honest.
And then
we are just not allowed to express it. But like, it comes out. Yeah, they have to, because it's that like pressing, like it's life or death almost sometimes, you know.
Yeah,
it's
I mean, Richie got stabbed in the ass, life or death, like.
No ways. I was like, this, you can't just have this happen.
It's so chaotic.
You can't just have someone getting stabbed in the ass,
it's
really stabbed in the ass.
So chaotic as a show.
You know, and they patch it up. Just like,
and he just kind of like walks it off.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, because there's also the like, but like family. At work we're family, like the whole we're family of it all, which corporates also do. Like we've all been at least one workplace where they're like, we're a family, and then all of us are like, are we?
Who's the favorite jar, you know?
Yeah. But to be fair, family does have favorites too.
This is true. Family is not always a safe space.
Yeah.
Truly, really.
Yeah.
It's not always.
And even the
dynamics are there.
Because even with Mikey, and for me, Mikey is so interesting because we see him in retrospect and flashbacks.
Yes,
and like,
he's that character.
Always with golden lighting.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, like the tone of the whatever.
He's like delivering pearls of wisdom.
Lingering presence. And but it's just like for him and Kami to have been close. Yeah. And have this dream of opening the restaurant and then him doing it without him. I was kind of like, But then also like, leaving it to him, leaving all the money in the canned.
How did they do that?
Tomatoes.
Please
how did they do that?
Freaking do that. It's just chaos, chaotic thinking, criminal minds. It's
they
like
literally put wads of money in cling wrap and then put it inside
the tins
and managed to seal it again.
So seal the tins of like the tomato,
so
the
many
whole
tins.
tomato, that ingredient, because it's also like ingredients or characters, right? This like when Kami comes back and looks down on this this meal, this like, I think it's a bolognese.
Oh, it's like, it's like the family. Yeah, and he makes it every Sunday.
Yeah, you know, and people, and it's like a favorite. It's actually like an institution in the community. People come in to have this. And he's like, no, it's not going to really,
we're canceling this off the menu.
And like, I don't know if they kept it because the menu kept changing. And then there was the part where the menu is now changing every night.
Okay, that I just, do you know what? I was like, Kami has made this unnecessarily stressful.
Yeah, Kami just...
Season 3 for me was a bit weird because
this is true.
I know some people argue that it was a little bit aimless, which I get because it felt like season 1.
Yeah.
Season 1, Kami is coming back. He's trying to thingy the restaurant. Yeah. And then season 2, they're like, we're moving on to them.
The characters,
renovating. We're learning about the characters. And then we open the restaurant. Yeah. And then season 3, it's kind of like... About? What's this one about? Like, what? I don't know. It felt...
Yeah, that's true.
And I didn't feel it as much because I watched it all together.
Same.
But then when I thought about it, I was like, yeah, man, season 3, like, what actually...
Because what is it hyping
the menus
up
just
towards?
kept changing.
Yeah.
And then Kami was heartbroken, but trying not to be heartbroken, and then changing menus because he's heartbroken. And then Sid, it's like, she has this other job offer. She doesn't want to sign the contract.
Sid. Let's talk about Sid.
Yes.
Let's talk about Sid and that, like, and her being an only child with, from parenthood.
Her dad. Yeah.
And them having that relationship and how she came into the space, how she approached. She's also like learned. She went to school for this, right?
Yeah.
She actually
so him and Kami are like the professionals, studied chefs in the kitchen.
Yeah, they're not like cooks. And this is why you see then Tina and her, and it's this like interesting...
It's pride almost.
Yeah, this pride, this thing that happens between Black women sometimes. Older generation, wherever it goes, where there's maybe it's conflict.
Oh yeah. Tina and Sid.
Tina does not make it easy because she, in a lot of ways, and you mentioned a lot about them training and being open to change, you know, in that first season, those first couple of episodes, you get the resistance and the old guard. Richie is like the campaign, the campaign
Mikey
manager.
Didn't do it like this.
Yeah, like everything is just a fight. Every simple little change. Every simple little
even changes that make sense. It's like I mean,
now
really,
we have to.
This is not that kind of restaurant.
Tina was really sticking it in to say, like, oh, how are you going to come in here? We've been doing this for like years. And so like, there's that feud. But I mean, it's interesting because like the workplace vibe of it, or the, hey, we're at work, kind of dissolves it, and she comes to her senses. Tina does come to her senses eventually.
Which is why her episode was also so interesting, and I love that I actually directed that.
Did she? Because she did a lot of directing as well.
Yeah, she directed Tina's episode, which is really cool. But I like that we saw that she and a lot of them came from completely different lives, because Tina before that was like completely at an office,
right? And she was retrenched,
and then got retrenched
because retrenchment is real, girl.
Retrenchment is real. And just having to go out and honestly
on a limb
asking for a job, trying to get a job always feels so embarrassing
and dehumanizing, and guys like must like shuck and jive. Tell me, but she does it,
and she tries, and they're like,
she does it the old school way,
application online and go to LinkedIn. And you can see her getting so frustrated. As the job search is always, it is a frustrating thing. It's not
glamorous, it's not fun, nothing about it.
Yeah, but then it kind of gives context on like, okay, Mikey took a chance on her.
Absolutely.
And then she learned how to be in this beef shop. Yeah. And now Sid is this young girl trying to change everything.
Yeah, I think the times have changed. Yeah. The lives are different. Sid has studied for this, and that's like... And that's always just like the thing in the workplace culture of like experience versus qualification. It's that like, because she has a lot of experience. She has a lot of work experience. And I think that's how she even, after being retrenched, went out on some like, I have experience working. Like I can do this. I can quickly get a job. little does she know
that now it's not just experience. You need the papers and the qualifications.
They even let her know that you need to get an education. Maybe that'll help your job hunt. Like she actually is told that during the job hunt. And so the opportunities though that she does get, and then she does go into study, she like that full circle moment,
and where
she gets the training and she comes in and she's a student.
Love that, like, and I mean it speaks to learning new things, and
at any
we
age.
all hate how uncomfortable it is to be a beginner. Because the like
pride of it, the ego of it, and the older you get,
the harder it is. But I really do love that they gave almost everyone, like their own episode where we could really like get to know them properly.
Because the other guy, oh, I forget his name, the Jamaican cook.
Oh yes,
he's so funny.
Even him, pride. He just it kicks him in the ass. It sticks him down. He can't do the training, so he comes back and he runs the sandwich section. Like the original sandwich shop, which I really like that they kept that.
Right?
As part of the fancy white tablecloth thing. Yeah, like that they were like, you can still get a sandwich.
Yeah, because that's like the institution.
The OG,
that's what a lot of the people that come here are those people.
Yes.
Like
people are not dressed up to come here.
Not
in heels
food
and
critics.
It's literally like, I'm gonna get a good sandwich.
I'm just here to get some good food from a good restaurant.
Oh, my favorite, because it gave like hole in the wall vibes.
Yeah, definitely. And I love that, those don't get. And to be honest, like I'm probably more of a hole in the wall type of foodie than a chef, not a chef or a Michelin, like that vibe where we get, but it's nice. It's nice to get food prepared. It's nice to get food prepared by like chefs.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
And the whole science behind it.
For me, I feel like, and I always complain and rant about Joburg restaurants, but for me, it's more that I like stuff that tastes good. It's like flavor.
Absolutely.
And I think, like my biggest complaint will always be that Joburg restaurants, it's like they're made by people who are interior designers and not people who like food. Yeah. So it's like, the restaurant is beautiful, and then the food is like, it's not like
it's not.
It's not. Which is why we'll always be like eating in Cape Town.
Yeah. What is
I genuinely think it's the specificity
we
of it.
always have
because
this
in
conversation.
It's like
in
Cape Town,
maybe
they will have one thing and do it well.
Joburg is a borough. It's like a city.
But it's also like we shouldn't be getting sushi and pizza and burgers at the same place. What are you doing? Stop that.
The Asian
do one
trend,
thing and do it well.
The black Asian, I don't know
Asian
what to call it.
And Mediterranean restaurants,
and they throw in shikanyama.
Like
now
we don't need another Asian or Mediterranean restaurant.
We don't.
There are
actually
enough of them.
We need to try something out.
Like literally anything else
out.
Please.
Anything else. And the Asian. Yeah, the Asian. It's interesting, that palette, because it's a very different palette.
Yeah,
it's a very different palette. The Asian palette.
Flavor. The depth of flavor, and it always feels like more clean, like it's clean cooking, but the flavor is always packed in and like good.
Asian cooking really is really, and the food is well prepared. Well prepared. Like it's really great. Asian food is great. I don't know what they're doing,
but they're doing well
at the restaurants right now, though.
Hit or miss. But let's rate it.
Let's rate it, right?
Yes.
Let's rate it. Let's go into our rating.
So we're going to go into our black Sterring test. So, did the characters lean into any stereotypes? This is interesting because I almost want to say...
The Italian restaurant?
There was kind of that.
Yeah.
Of like loud Italian. Yeah.
This is the stereotype. Yeah. Which is real.
Which is real. But then... Sid was so interesting.
Yeah, Sid is.
So I'm kind of like also no.
As well, yeah. Richie as well. Kami is like.
Everyone's like a little bit unhinged.
Because there is that when you then want to think about white men. There are a lot of white men, right? But there is this vulnerability, this like hustling, this like. Yeah. They're humanizing white men, I guess, It just feels
they humanize Kami a lot.
Yeah, Kami, Richie,
and I'm like,
Mike, and
Jeremy, you have come a long way since Lip Gallagher and Shameless. Okay, like
Jeremy?
he's the Kami. He used to be in Shameless. Like, I don't know if you ever watched Shameless.
Absolutely.
He was Lip in Shameless.
Oh, wow.
But now he's like grown up.
It makes sense though. His genre is Shameless, definitely that kind of like
chaos
and dysfunction.
Family drama and chaos.
Yeah. And Richie as well.
Really
Mikey as well.
Yeah.
I enjoyed them. I enjoy placing fighting and that kind of anger and family discontent at the center of it, to then see how, families don't always get along. Families have deep wounds, but it's family, and it does come back around. End of the day. It does actually come back around to being like, hey, we can, the ebb and flow, the ebb and flow, and the acceptance and the embrace, the safe space is still there.
Yes,
even though sometimes it's not.
It feels like there. It's not. Yeah, you can't feel it.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, okay. So
stereotypes.
I wouldn't say they're Africans. Were they?
No.
No.
Are they Africans and are they eroticized? No. Exoticized.
They're
no queers,
and then
nothing of that. No, it's not that kind of thing. I don't think so.
Wasn't that kind of potty? The visual diet,
the bodies. It's. I feel like we're dealing with a body issue here, in the sense that nervous system, anxiety. Like, we have bodies in the kitchen here that are bodies in stress, bodies in so in that, like, everyone, like, watching it, you just feel stressed.
You do feel
it's stressed. Got that, like, it's
they
that it's
drop
the
you in, like you said,
it's like that. Yeah, that workplace stress, that anxiety, that overthinking, the flashbacks, there's
they
also
put you
moments
in the people's minds as well, which is
there's a lot of moments, because there's a lot of close-ups of breathing, of
actual
panic attacks,
zooming in.
I think
we
Sid
see
has one, and
Kami also has one. Like, we see all the stress.
So I guess that's a representation. That's a real representation of bodies. It may not be like I mean, we have old bodies, we have normal bodies.
Which is nice. Yeah. And I do like that, like the workplace, there's a range of ages. And Absolutely. You'll be besties with someone who's like 20 years older than you.
Who's like, who's speaking a different language to you.
Yeah.
And I think I have to speak about the moms. Like, her face, I have to be honest, like, it's not even it's not even a judgment, but I was like, it's right there in the wrinkles in her face. She's and wrinkles are, there's a lot of negative stereotypes about growing old, but I feel like her being in that role, as anxious and as dysfunctional and tortured and tormented as she is, you see it. You see it in her face. It is completely here.
She looks like her problems.
That's the one. Yep. She really does. She looks like her problems entirely. So that's as well, like, it's here, it's in the face, like, problems, they speak in the face, and in the body as well.
They do. Okay, so full range of emotions.
Absolutely. We have
from
really
awkward
dark,
to uncomfortable to like
to
soft
joy,
to loving to laughter. Warmth,
everything.
And you see it play out through everybody, which is nice.
I'm rating it now as fries. I'm giving it a fries. I think it's intersectional. I definitely, in the sense that we're dealing with, like, mental health, we're dealing with work, we're dealing with a lot of things. I think it is quite like we're moving across here and there. How do you want to rate it?
I will also rate it fries.
Okay, alrighty, okay. I think that's it then. We've kind of rated them, and definitely watch the bear. Definitely watch the bear. Watch the bear.
Thank you for listening to us too.
Alrighty.
Signing out.
Bye.
Bye.